Welcome, welcome. It's Thursday night. Welcome to the Cantina Happy Hour. Pull up a stool, have a drink, and let's talk some Star Wars. I am your host, David. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
I'm fine.
Tired?
Ready to talk about. I don't know. I have so many favorite books. It's not even funny.
I know. I did this show just for you, Debbie. I knew
No,
you
you
would love
didn't.
this one. Yeah, I did. I did. I was thinking of you.
And
Also-
and I didn't print off my list at work either, so I'm
Oh,
flying blind. Flying blind.
That's okay.
I was up to 20.
That's okay.
Jeez.
Also, with us tonight is Andrew H. Andrew, how are you this evening?
I'm
Doing
doing
good.
wonderful, doing well. Oh wait, which Andrew?
Oh, wait,
Andrew H.
Oh,
Andrew
H. Oh, my bad.
it's all right.
Hang
I'm
on,
on the
hang on.
top. There you go.
We're moving things around. Hold on.
Is that, what's it called? The little
No,
Monty
I'm
thing?
saying,
Where's the ball? Where's the ball?
I don't know if I have 20 books like Debbie, but I've got a list.
Awesome. Also with us tonight is Andrew Orozco. I'm going to say that right. He is a special guest tonight from all the way from Feast of Fandoms. He has followed us over from Geek News Now, and now he's going to come play with us at Feast of Fandoms. Great to have you on tonight. And last and definitely not least by any means, Cam from Cam and Focus is also here. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm tired. I worked way out of town today, and I was in surgery pretty much all day. So I looked at my phone and I saw it was like 9:33, and I was like, no! I completely forgot. I got wrapped up in how tired I was, and almost forgot about tonight.
Completely forgivable. I myself got home.
Blame it on the time change if you have to, you know.
The time change that happened last week.
Yep. There you go.
It's a lag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, tonight
Hi, Dingus.
there's a lot of us
Dingus.
here. We are talking about some of our now there are two of them.
It's getting out of hand.
We need a third Andrew. Just have our own shows called the Andrews.
And you can all point at each other.
Yeah,
Like the Spider-Man. Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Tonight we're talking about some of our favorite novels, both canon and non-canon. I know Debbie reads like it's going out of style, so I know she's got a list about as long as my arm and then some. My arm and her arm.
all of our arms combined. You could
Well,
wrap the list
I
around the
won't
world
list-
14 times.
I won't list all of them because we have 5 people on the show. So
Thank you. But we are talking about some of our favorite ones, both, like I said, canon, non-canon, or legends, I guess is the way to put it these days. I still prefer EU, just because to me it's still the EU. I call it legends for some of the younger fans, just so they know what I'm talking about. But there you go. So let's start off. Debbie, I will give you the floor for just a moment. What give me a favorite one of yours. Give me your like if you could read it like every day for the rest. If you were stuck on a desert island, you have one. Which one are you taking with you?
you might as well just shoot me now.
Okay.
I couldn't do that.
I'm taking one called the Omnibus. It's all of them into one.
Yeah, I do
great
that.
code.
I would do that definitely. I would.
It's like the
Take the-
equivalent of wishing for more wishes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't have like a super duper favorite?
I really love reading all of the movie novelizations because they go into more detail and you can, you kind of hear what they're thinking in their brains, the characters.
Right.
So they would be on the top of my list. I love reading those. And then the Dark Disciple is really good. And I was trying to think, what are my other ones?
You don't have to name them all.
Oh,
You can save some for later.
well, I assume more than likely the other guests on the panel will have some of my favorites. So I'll go with Dark Disciple and all the movie novelizations, especially Revenge of the Sith.
That was an amazing one. If they had put half the stuff that was in that novel into the movie, that was one of the big things people complained about that movie. Was it was like, it doesn't make any sense. Why did Anakin fall? Why was that such a, why did he make the decisions that he made? But if they had put some of the stuff that was in that novel into that movie, it would have made a lot more sense, and people would have been like, "Oh, of course, it doesn't make any, of course." So
that for now, that's
All right.
those are my picks.
All right, Andrew O. How about top shelf, Andrew? Top line, Andrew. What about you? You're
Top
stuck-
shelf. Did you hear that?
Well-
Bottom shelf, Andrew. That was a slight at you.
I know.
Well, I have them right here, so I'm gonna go over it real quick.
He's the one.
Oh, nice.
I gave her. So much like Debbie, I also like the novelizations. I have the original trilogy novelizations. A New Hope, or I guess it's not called A New Hope yet, right? It's just called Star Wars back then. But first time in this book, they mentioned the Sith before they ever mentioned it in the movies ever. So I thought that was kind of cool. They actually have, like Debbie said, there's more time for details and such. So in the original novelization of the original Star Wars, they mentioned.
Don't make me bust out my first editions out.
And then from the mid '90s, a very special part of my life. Well, I don't care much for checking out the movie novelizations part. The one that I watch. Okay.
Yeah.
And then from the '90s, a very special era of Star Wars, we have the Shadows of the Empire.
Oh,
I love the N64 game, and then I didn't read this one until probably the mid aughts, 2004, 2005. I just like how it fills in the gaps between Empire and Return of the Jedi. So, I don't know. I really like Shadows of the Empire. It's a really well written novel. Go ahead.
Now, Shadows, I really, really liked. The problem I had with Shadows is I really wanted Boba Fett. I wanted, you're in that era where Boba Fett is just this mysterious character. You don't know anything about him. You want to see Boba Fett, and nothing. That novel had he was mentioned, and that was it.
Yeah,
he was not in that. Now he was in the comic books and he was in the video games, but he wasn't in the novel. Oh, I was disappointed. I was like, I want. Give me Boba Fett. Forget this Luke Skywalker turkey. Give me Boba Fett.
I have 4 more. I'm going to blaze through them real quick. Don't worry.
Oh, go for it. Go
ahead.
I Jedi with Coran Horn. This was the very first, you can tell because it's kind of worn out, the very first Star Wars book I ever owned. I was like probably 7 or 8 years old. I didn't read it till I was like 9 or 10, I think, because it was just very thick book. But it's the first experience of the EU for me, knowing that there was like a whole story after the original trilogy, a little bit before Phantom Menace came out for me. So I really enjoyed this book. I haven't read it in a while, but it's very special because it's the first one I ever owned. So there's that one. Of course, the novelization of Darth Plagueis. I love how it fills in everything that leads up right into, including Phantom Menace, where it kind of overlaps a little bit with what happens in Phantom Menace. Just the seeing, I hate his name. I hate that they call him Sheev, but seeing the rise of Sheev Palpatine from a nobody on Naboo to being basically, the Supreme Chancellor. So I just love prequels, including the movies, but I love knowing how we get somewhere. So I really enjoyed this one. And then this one's not really a novel. It's actually kind of a omnibus, as David first said. But this is the From a Certain Point of View book, where it's 40 different stories, like 40 little like short stories, but they're all from the point of view of side characters in A New Hope. So you got the bartender has a story from the cantina. You have like even the Jawas have a story. I think even the little red droid that but burns out has a little side story. It's really, really fun. And it's very digestible because it's very bite-sized. It's 40 stories. It's not like a long novel you have to like marathon through. You can just blaze through it. in little short little bits. Gary Whitta, actually the writer of Rogue One, has a short story that he calls, I think it's called Rogue 2, which is it's like the 10 minutes between a Rogue One and A New Hope of what's going on the Tantive 4. And I think he was being a little tongue in cheek with it, kind of, because people were asking him, why don't you make Rogue 2? And it's like, yeah, we already have that. It's A New Hope, basically, right? So he has like a little short story about what happens between Rogue One, 10 minutes, and then A New Hope. So that's cool.
Gotcha.
I have to agree with all of Andrew's, especially all of the point of view books from the center point.
They're
all
the other
great.
two, but yeah, I heard.
Yeah, they're all great. Just short little stories. They're fun.
And then this is a callback to the EU before everything got wiped out. This is the conclusion of the Legacy of the Force series. I don't know if you guys ever read any of those, but it's in another alternate timeline. Basically, Han and Leia's twin kids basically duke it out. The son becomes a Sith Lord. The daughter becomes a X-Wing pilot / Jedi. And it's like 10 books long. This is like the last book, the end of the series. But if you guys haven't checked it out, and if you don't care about what's canon or not canon, it's a very fun, delightful read.
The problem with that is you tell them to go read it, and that's all well and good, but there's so much
True
story that
New Jedi Order,
two kids
true
growing up that it's like, okay, now you've got to go back and you've got to read the Heir to the Empire trilogy. Now you've got to read the Jedi Academy trilogy. You've got to read all the Young Jedi Knight novels. Now you've also got to read the what is it? What was the Yuzan Vong? Umpteen gazillion of those.
Yeah, there's like 20 of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much content with just those two kids in it, and then it's like, oh my gosh.
Last one, I promise this last one is it's the first book in the Darth Bane trilogy. Well, it kind of almost lines up, trying to line it up with the thing above it. Close enough. Path of Destruction, with the first book in the Darth Bane trilogy, written by Drew. I forget how to pronounce his name. Carpishin. I can never pronounce his name. But he's also
Carpishin.
There we go.
I don't even try.
He's also he was the main writer for Knights of the Old Republic, which is one of my favorite video games of all time. So kind of early in the timeline, talks about, the establishment of the rule of the two and all that. There's a trilogy, but this is just the first one. Fantastic. I absolutely love that book. So there you have it.
I own the first two in hardcover, and I didn't get the third one when it came out. And so that's on my, when I go to bookstores, it's on my list of things if I see it.
What is your favorite book, Chewy?
Yes, Chewy.
Chewy don't care. She just likes to lay on my iPad or my Kindle when I'm trying to read. She'll lay across it.
She's like, that doesn't get attention. I get attention.
That's her philosophy.
Cam, what you got for us?
Well, I got 4 that I can think of that are very special to me. Well, technically 6, but one of which is a trilogy, which I'll just get that out of the way. It's the Darth Bane trilogy.
Nice.
The very, very special Star Wars books to me. They were some of the first that I bought, as a physical copy. They were also some of the first that I listened to on audiobook, which, if you haven't listened to the Bane trilogy on audiobook, Jonathan Davis is a fantastic narrator, and it comes with music and sound effects. It all feels very cinematic. It's a great experience to listen to. The next one is the novelization of The Last Jedi, which, I mean, first of all, you guys know I love the movie, so anything that adds to that is something that I'm going to latch on to pretty quickly. And the novelization goes into so much more. Yeah, the novelization goes into so much more detail about what goes on with the characters, and it fills in a lot of the gaps. A lot of things that people have issues with narratively are tackled in that novel. So really, really great.
Revenge of the Sith.
Right, exactly. And it's also a novel, the author of which I just happened to run into at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. And I was like, oh my God, sign this, please.
That'll be $80.
Yeah.
He actually only charged me for the book. He didn't charge me for the signature.
Wow.
I think I told you guys the story about that. I was at Comic-Con and I'm looking through the books of, at different booths, and I come across The Last Jedi. And I pick it up, and the guy behind the counter is like, hey, you want me to sign that? And I look at him, I'm like, who are you?
Oh.
And then he pointed out his name tag, and I looked at the name tag, and then I looked at the author's name. I was like, "Oh my god, yes, I would love for you to
He'd only
sign
charge you for the book after that is
Yeah,
right
really.
about, yeah.
The third one is Maul Shadowhunter. That was actually the first Star Wars book that I ever bought, and but I loved the character of Maul going into it, but reading that just made me love him so much more because you get into his head and you see like his thought process and how he goes about tackling different scenarios and situations, and it's a very very insightful book, and it really enhances his on-screen presence both in like the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars, because even though that particular story isn't canon anymore, it doesn't really conflict with too much of anything, so I still consider it part of his overall story. The last one is the book Brotherhood, which is a canon novel.
Down there on the bottom.
And it's just after, or no, I'm sorry, just before Attack of the Clones. So it goes a lot into Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship and, their master and apprentice dynamic. And it's not like, super spectacular writing or anything like that. The main reason that that's so high up on my list is because that movie retroactively makes Attack of the Clones better. Because it goes a lot into why Anakin is so awkward and why Anakin doesn't really know how to talk to Padme. And like I said, it goes a lot more into the master apprentice dynamic between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and so it kind of enhances what we see on screen. So any book that makes its adjacent projects better, I think, is important. But that's just me.
Does it explain how that nest of Gundarks works into things?
Yes.
Awesome.
I was going to ask if the dialogue was better in the book.
See, the dialogue is better in the book because it acknowledges why the dialogue in Attack of the Clones is so bad.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
I love how Cam just has a lighter that he's talking with.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's so random. Now, class.
He's got to have something to pitch it with. He's going to fall asleep. He's tired.
It's like I'm thinking really hard for a minute, and then suddenly I just have a really, really good idea.
Nice.
It's like a light bulb going off above my head.
All right, Andrew, bottom shelf, Andrew. It's your turn. Go for it.
Yeah, best for last. What can I say? But the least special list, because so my favorites are the first Star Wars books I ever read, and that was the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which I actually read for the first time about a year ago. So I'm relatively new to Star Wars books, but I just love Timothy Zahn's writing in those books, and Thrawn's one of my favorite characters, and obviously that just elevates him in those books. Dark Disciple, like Debbie mentioned, is a good one. Plagueis is a good one. I own them, but I haven't read them. I haven't read Darth Bane yet, but that's definitely on my TBR to read because I definitely want to read those. Trying to think. Oh, Master and Apprentice is a good one. I'm trying to think of all the ones I've read because it's not a whole lot, but I've read the other Thrawn trilogies that Zahn wrote, the canon ones. Those are pretty good. No, as a whole, they're not quite to the Heir to the Empire trilogy, but some of the individual books are up there with the originals. So those probably just, I know it's kind of a basic, nothing too crazy, but it's kind of just my list right now. Hoping to this year to read more and, check out more Star Wars books and maybe the novelizations of the movies and yeah.
So when the expanded universe came out, you've got to think, kid in high school, we didn't have cell phones that we walked around with. So if you needed to burn time in school, we read. I mean, that's just what we did. And when the Zahn trilogy dropped for me, of course, I had it because up until that time, all we had was the 3 movie novelizations. We had I think there were 3 Han Solo novels, and then 3 Lando Calrissian novels, and that was it. That's like literally all we had. And then Zahn dropped his, and then it was like every month a new book was coming out. So, I was on my toes trying to read everything. One of the ones that really sticks out, besides the Zahn ones, one of the ones that really sticks out to me that I really enjoyed was The Courtship of Princess Leia. Always one of my favorites. Dave Wolverton. It was Han Solo wooing and marrying Princess Leia, but it also introduced the Night Sisters for the first time. So, everybody, the Night Sisters were in the Clone Wars. Yes, they were. But guess what? That was something they pulled over from Legends. So there you go. You're welcome. And in fact, that was also pulled across with we talked about Jason and Jaina. Tenakal was the daughter of hang on. So Prince Isolde.
There you go.
Prince Isolde was the person who was supposed to marry Leia, but he ended up marrying one of the Night Sisters, and I can't remember her name. But Tenakal is like Jason's love interest kind of thing, and she is the daughter of those two. So because of that novel, we have this extra stuff that goes into the thing, and they ride Rancors too. So it's just amazing. It was awesome. Loved that book. I'm trying to think what some of the other ones like the.
I find it funny how none of us have mentioned any of the High Republic books. No one's mentioned.
I've read them. They're okay. Not that I would read them again. There are canon books that I really like. Pretty much anything by Claudia Gray. She did the Lost Stars.
Yeah.
She does Mandalorians really well.
Yeah. Her book, there's a Princess Leia trilogy that she did, or not Princess Leia, Padme.
That's right.
That were really good, that I really enjoyed. Just to show you, now this says copyright 1976. This is my copy.
You got the
Wow.
Hang on, I'll do you one better. That's the paperback.
It's just,
Of course, David has a hardcover.
but yeah, I read this so much when I was a kid, because I was a kid when it came out back in the old days. But yeah,
I was going to say, I own a New Hope, but it's nothing as cool as that.
Yeah. I don't have everything as cool as that.
Mine's
Cool.
mine's
the
a
piece of
cover with
history.
Luke. So it's like,
well, yours is in better. What copyright is that?
I don't know.
yeah, that's right. Debbie might win with the actual.
I actually,
David says 1966. Wait, what?
hang on. I'll find it.
Does anybody have a Splinter of the Mind's Eye by any chance? Because I don't.
I used to.
I'm gonna say yes. I have to go.
Because isn't that even older?
It's a first edition, 1976.
All right, I got to show off my cool Star Wars book.
Wait a minute. Oh, look at that one.
Ooh, nice.
Oh! I'm gonna whip that one out too. Now, see, those are just the paperbacks, because if I really wanted to show off, I could go 1976 hardcover.
Wow, that's
sick. First edition with the dust jacket. Of course, that would, then you get this one, first edition hardcover. This one doesn't have the dust jacket, but it is Return of the Jedi, first edition hardcover.
He knocks on it so we know.
Yeah. Hold on.
While David's doing that, this is a relatively new Star Wars book called The Living Force.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
What's cool about this copy is, so I'm in a book club, the Red 5 Reading Book Club, and Nicole, the head of it at C2E2 last year, got John Jackson Miller to sign the book, May the Force Be With You.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I won it in a giveaway.
That's
which is
Oh,
pretty
nice.
Cool. So that's the only signed Star Wars book I have at the moment, but
That's cool.
Here we go. Just
cool.
just because we talked about it, here's a first edition Han Solo at Star's End. This was one of the 3 Han Solo novels.
Trilogies, yeah.
Hardcover, by the way.
Yeah, I had to give away all my books because when I
This is a copyright.
moved,
Oh.
the house I live in now is real small. There wasn't enough room for my 4 6-foot tall bookcases. I kept all my books in. You can see I got
Oh, yeah.
some in the corner there.
Oh yeah.
A few of those are signed by the authors, which is why I kept them.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Some of them are legends, which
Is why you kept them.
well,
You mean they have
my-
the
my-
Legends banner, or just they're Legends?
No, they don't have the legends banner.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're pre-legend. They're EU. They're old EU.
Yeah. My oldest son, I don't want to say this too loud, but my oldest son was asking me if I had any of my old Star Wars books. And I said, not as many as I used to. And he was like, I was really wanting the EU ones. And I was like, oh,
Ooh.
his birthday was in February. We haven't had a chance to celebrate it yet. But when my youngest son's birthday's on the 21st of May, so we're going to
That's the
celebrate.
day after my birthday.
We're going to celebrate Matt's birthday, Andrew's birthday. Oh, my son's name's
There's
Andrew.
the third
Sorry.
one.
Well, you know what?
There's the third one.
There's the
And
third.
Mother's Day, we're going to celebrate all that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and box
Oh,
up
that's
the
cool.
books that I have and go ahead and give it. I mean, he already has my Star Trek collection. Not books, but I gave him all of my signed limited edition lithographs and
Wow.
stuff because he's a huge Star Trek fan too. So.
Right.
I know these don't count as novels, but I do have original copies of the first 3 issues of the Star Wars comics that Marvel did in the 80s.
I just sold mine.
I
had
could
to.
get them real quick.
I had to sell it to buy my Black Series Kylo Ren lightsaber. So that was the only way I could afford it. Here you go, Andrew.
Oh, he does have it.
1978 hardcover again.
I
There you
just
go.
read that
That's
on
cool.
my Kindle not too long ago.
First edition. So yeah.
And what's crazy about these, I think I've said this before, my grandparents were going through their garage and they almost threw these away, but they saw Star Wars on it and were like, oh, Drew will like that. So there's,
What?
Wow.
That's cool.
and then second issue has a tear on the bottom cover, but for the most part, it's still good. And then there's the third one for you.
That brings up an
Wonderful.
interesting thing there. The comic books. I know Debbie. Debbie, have you been reading the comic books at all?
I had started to read. They're the ones with Vader and Dr. Aphra.
Hmm.
Those have been pretty good. I quit reading them because The Mask of Fear just recently came out.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in the middle of that one. Started reading that. So once I get done with that, I'll go back to the Vader Aphra. Those are interesting.
I'm not a big fan of Dr. Aphra, but okay.
She's a female Indiana Jones. Basically.
You could call her Indiana Jones.
I got the the comic books I read them still yearly. Is the Dark Empire series. Love those. I've got the original run, and then of course the trade paperbacks on both of them. But also there's there was one that came out in. It was just before The Force Awakens came out. It was a run called, I think it was called Shattered Empire,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like a four or five issue run. But basically, it was about Poe's parents, and they were both they were both involved at the Battle of Endor.
I think there was a book about that.
Well, it was a comic
Was
book.
it comics or book?
There might have been both. I know sometimes they would do that comic
But-
version of books. So
They
That's
kind of
what I
touched on it in the Aftermath trilogy.
Oh, maybe
Oh,
that's
there
what.
you
Right, right.
okay.
Okay.
So, but that one was really good, just because it was, it's one of like I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, "Oh, I like filling in the gaps. I like the prequels." I think it was you, Andrew. It said, "I like the story before the story," kind of thing. So,
The Dooku Jedi Lost, if that's the one I'm thinking of, that's written in like a play form.
Yeah, it was written to be adapted as an audio drama.
But it's a weird read, but it's a good book because it's a good book.
It's better to listen to as the audio drama. You can get it on Audible, or if you use iBooks or whatever. It is technically an audio book. It's performed by a full cast, and you have music and sound effects, and it all has a very cinematic feel to it. So it's fun. And I've got so many Star Wars comic books. I have all of Vader so far. I have the first 30 issues of the mainline Star Wars series. I have the comic adaptation of The Force Awakens. I have most of Dark Empire. I have War of the Bounty Hunters. Oh, geez,
like
what
that
else do
one.
I have? Yeah,
I collected the crap out of that one. That was a long one too.
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
books in that one.
I forget what else I have. I mean, I have literally like tote boxes full of Star Wars comic books.
I actually just bought another one because I was running out of space. But that also counts like Spider-Man and Batman.
Yeah.
So
I'd say out of the, at this point, 600 and something comic books I have, probably about close to 2/3 of them are Star Wars.
Wow.
And Andrew, Top Shelf Andrew, do you read the comic books at all?
I've read some of them. I actually I don't know where it is now. I've moved so many times since then, but I had the omnibus of the it was one of the Knights of the Republic series. It was like 2005, 2006. I don't know if you guys ever seen the cover. It has someone with a yellow lightsaber and somebody else with a green lightsaber. I don't know if that is stirring any images, but I used to have that. It was hard to follow because it didn't really follow any of the main characters from Knights of the Republic. So kind of just at the time. But I did read, much like Debbie, I read the recent, or not, I don't know how recent now, but the Darth Vader line of comics through the Marvel Unlimited app when I used to have a subscription to that. And I read I got as far as, I'm trying to remember how far, but it was definitely, I got confused during the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff because then it was like, to continue this story, you got to read this other like line of comics. I was like,
It was
the app was pretty good at like showing you what was the next one, so you would just download the next one, but it was kind of jumping all over.
Yeah, it was all over the place. I was at the comic book shop once a week buying at least one comic book in that series. I want to say for like 6 or 8 weeks. I mean, it was a long, and they even like kicked off a bunch of titles just on that one. Like Forlom and IG88 all had their own books, and that's where they kicked off.
Yeah,
I think even Boss kicked off right there too. I mean, it was just there was a whole lot of Dr. Afra had 3 or 4 issues. There was a lot of stuff in that one. I know with the at Comic-Con a few years back, the guy that did the cover, the artist that did the cover for the issue 0, so like where everything stopped, where everything started, the very first thing, he was there, and I've got that first issue signed just because. And it was the War of the Bounty. It was Boba Fett. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted a Boba Fett story, and that one was great.
I do have one comic that actually got years ago, and it's the first part of a 4-part comic adaptation of The Last Jedi, much like like the one that Cam likes, and it's actually I got it signed by Gary Wood at an event. I don't know where it is. I'll probably go look for it right now. I have an idea where it is, but that's the only physical comic book that I actually own. So
I
I thought
do
I had
have
released them out. Jeez.
I do have a signed copy of the graphic novel Attack of the Clones.
Oh,
I have
okay.
because I
hey,
got
Chris.
that when they had Star Wars celebrations here in Indianapolis
Oh,
because we got to see the
I've
trailers and cool stuff, and George
I've got
Lucas was there.
I've got a good little piece from. Hang on, now I got to go find this one too. I actually
Showing off tonight.
Yeah, I know, right?
George Lucas signed this for me personally.
I do have. I can't remember which celebration it was. It was either 2 or 3 because they were both down here in Indianapolis. But I do have. They handed out a special edition George Lucas. It's not the name, but should have got it out. It's in my cedar chest. But it's him as a pilot, a figurine.
Oh yeah.
And they only handed it out there at Celebration.
I've actually got the one with him as a stormtrooper somewhere.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have that.
Celebration 2. This is the novel.
Whoa.
For Attack of the Clones.
Oh, nice.
That looks really cool.
I actually sold. See, it's right there. Attack of the Clones. I actually got rid of my other copy of Attack of the Clones, the hardcover, because I got this one. Attack of the Clones, and then this first sheet right here. This is a specially bound and supplied edition of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and has been limited to 500 copies.
Wow.
Each one signed by the author, R.A. Salvatore. And so,
that dude. Oh, okay.
So this was one of those Celebration 2, like you had to go stand in line and get the lottery. I got this I got this off of the Goodwill website in a grab bag for $10.
Wow.
This and a bunch of other stuff.
Wow.
And I've never, ever
Someone's seen
one
uncle
for
died
sale
and they just cleared out his
everywhere.
house. We're like, yeah, here you
I
go.
have never seen one for sale. I've looked on eBay. I have looked everywhere, and I have never seen one for sale.
So you don't even know how to list it then.
I have no idea. I don't even know the value of it, to be honest.
It's got it. If there's only 500 and it's signed, it's
You can literally say
in the
it's
thousands. Literally, yeah. You can come up with any price you want.
Yeah.
See, but put it
priceless.
up for like 10 grand and somebody will pay for it.
Oh, I'm sure they
Actually,
would.
David, you got to be careful when I come up to Dallas later.
No, I don't think so. I'll keep it.
You
in
would
my-
like my Boba Fett limited edition lithogram by the Hildebrandt brothers. It's very cool. I've
So
seen
can you
it
fight
on
to Indiana now.
I've seen it on eBay. Now I don't know if they actually got the price for it, but upwards of anywhere above $600.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So, yes, that is my. And then, of course, I've got 4 of the Zahn novels autographed. I've got the Heir to the Empire trilogy, and then there was another one he wrote a while back called Allegiance, which dealt with Mara Jade and.
That's the purple looking one on the cover, right? It has like all the right?
No, it's got the stormtroopers on the cover.
Oh, okay. There's one that has her on the cover and there's like stormtroopers flanking her on the sides. I think there's like a Star Destroyer in the background. Right? I think it's like a purple looking like
It is.
right. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Nope.
No.
Allegiance.
Well, it might depend on the copy.
Oh, okay,
you
never
get.
mind. What's the one I'm thinking of? Never mind. I'm thinking of a different one.
I know what
yes.
picture you're talking about.
You can imagine it in your mind.
All autographed.
Yeah, I've seen it.
My copy of Heir to the Empire and The Last Command are hardcover library bound.
Choices of one. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Choices of one. There you go.
So very, very cool. And then, of course, we just found out because Andrew and I are both going to Fan Expo here in Dallas at the end of May, 1st of June. Found out Monday that Timothy Zahn will actually be there again.
Nice.
So,
And somebody's going to get me some signed copies, right?
somebody will.
Sure.
Because that's going to
Unless
be
it's-
added to my son's birthday books.
Unless it's like $80, then I'll have to be like,
Actually, the last time I saw him, the last time I saw him, he only charged me $10 for like 4 autographs. So
Whoa.
it was just here, just give me $10. But when I saw him, that was 2011, and I was
I think
dressed,
now he just charges for the books and the autographs are free.
and I was dressed as Darth Vader, so he thought that was really cool as well.
So I was going to say, I'd bring Heir to the Empire and have him sign that baby.
Well, I got all 3 of my Thrawn ones done, and then Allegiance. So I'm gonna see if I can't find Debbie's. I'm gonna find some first edition hardcovers for Debbie for the Zahn trilogy, and I may purchase one of the books while I'm there as well, one of the newer ones.
Yeah, if you can find the Legends ones, because I know Matt likes those.
Well,
I don't
like
know
said, I'll get if I can find the hardcovers, I will. Now, if we have to resort to soft covers, well,
that's good.
Have any of you guys bought any of like the, you know how they reissue the Legends with those really cool like black covers with the redone art? Have any of you guys got any of those? No,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them, but I haven't gotten any yet.
I think those
No,
are cool.
everything's on my Kindle.
What about the have they did it for the first 6 movies? It was the Shakespearean Star Wars,
Yeah.
where they wrote it in the style of a Shakespearean play.
Yikes.
I thought that's what Cam was talking about earlier when he was talking about like it's reading like a script or like a playwright. I thought he said that's what I thought he was talking about earlier because I remember
No, Lost Jedi or Jedi Lost.
It quite literally reads as like a screenplay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I seen the cover where you're talking about, Deeper, because I remember it's Jabba with like the little frilly thing. That little,
Yeah,
I don't know what you call it, but like the
Yeah.
the little-
it looks like Bill Shakespeare.
Victorian collar.
yeah.
But he did they did the first 6. I think they did the Phantom Menace through Return of the Jedi. But it's not Return. It's like the Jedi doth return, and the Empire striketh back.
I want to check
it's
those
just-
out. I think was it Barnes and Nobles. They had like I think like the Bounty Hunter ones with Boba Fett on it, and it had like silver like edges. Have you guys seen that?
Oh,
I forgot.
I know what you're
the
talking about.
Mandalorian, or I forgot it was like something. It's the Bounty Hunter books, but from like that trilogy from like the 90s, I think.
it was like Slave Ship and
It was like a
What
three.
was
It was like a 3-part.
it was 3-part set. It was I'm trying to remember because it all happened in between Empire and Jedi again.
Yeah,
And it
but,
was
like,
basically Boba Fett getting out of the Sarlacc pit and reclaiming.
It
Happened right after Jedi. I'm sorry. And it's basically Boba getting out of the Sarlacc pit and reclaiming his.
But the book
idol.
has like it's almost like a Bible. Like it has like those gilded edges on the pages, and it's like some kind of like I don't know green bound leather. Barnes and Noble. I don't know if they still have it, but they had like it was like a limited just limited to Barnes and Nobles, and like every time I would see it, I'd be tempted, but like I just didn't have the cash for it.
Now I might have to go to Barnes and Noble at lunch tomorrow.
But it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
Now there was one. And I never did get it. I'd see it all the time, but it was like way out of my price range. But it was like the Book of the Jedi and the Book of the Sith, and it had like it came in like this box, but it was like a battery operated box, and it would like open itself, and the book would prop itself up.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
My son Andy has those.
Oh, he does.
That's cool.
And he also has the.
No, I don't.
Doesn't it come with like medallions or some kind of like extra like little
I don't know.
tchotchke or something?
Yeah, it was.
Well, he also has the holograms or no the triangle things.
the holocron.
Holocrons.
Holocrons. Yeah.
Close
Okay.
enough.
I think they
Yeah.
did a bounty hunter book like that as well. I think they did one for Jedi, Sith, and then bounty hunters. So
They also did an
The
Imperial Handbook.
Empire, yeah.
oh, maybe that's Oh.
That's the one that I have.
All right, so we're gonna go to Debbie's house first and steal Andy's books, and then we're gonna go down to Florida and steal Cam's.
Yeah, while they're doing surgeries and stuff, we'll just be
Yeah, while they're sitting around doing all that work, stuff
the
and
filing.
money.
Yeah.
I don't do surgeries. Cam's way above me on that.
While we're busy, cutting skin cancer out of people, now I have to keep in the back of my head that I should be worried about people
Cam's
breaking into my house to steal my literature.
How dare you steal my novels?
How dareth you stealeth my novels?
F.
Oh Lord, Andrew, did we have any fan questions or anything on the Facebook page? Holy smokes!
Whoa!
What is that?
The complete Star Wars.
The complete encyclopedia. Oh,
Is that?
Is that the book you would take?
yeah.
Oh, 3.
It's
Never mind.
3 books.
3 books.
Wow.
It's very cool.
I think
My boyfriend at the time,
there.
he didn't know shit about Star Wars, but my birthday is right around Christmas, so he would always it was just a given. Barnes and Nobles, pick out whatever the hell you want, and
30 seconds.
So the year that this came out, that's what I asked for, and that's what I got. And it's freaking heavy.
I bet it is.
How
Well,
up
now
to
we
date?
can't steal it. It's got meaning behind it.
How up to date is that, Debbie? Does it say?
What? Yeah. What?
Maybe older.
I don't know, 1983 maybe.
Let's see if I can find a.
Not that long. Not. 1983. The book would be like that. There's not much.
Those books are like.
There's a foreword from Steve Sansweet. I assume you all know who that is.
Yes, we do. Yes, I do. I've got it.
I don't.
You don't know who-
Copyright 2008. These are first editions.
So 2008. So this
That
is
was 3
prior
years
to-
after Revenge
17
of the
years
Sith.
ago.
3 years after Revenge of the Sith. That's prior to the Clone Wars
cartoon. Yeah.
cartoon, and also prior to the sequel trilogy.
Wow.
It's got, it's just a big encyclopedia, and it's just got,
Those-
characters and crap in it.
And
I
Those
it's probably
books made me
the-
think of the memes of like my knowledge on world history, my knowledge on Star Wars history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came
Actually,
in.
be like this.
It came in very handy during Star Wars trivia.
Yeah, I bet.
Well,
Steve-
at that time.
Steve Sansweet is the Guinness World Record holder for the largest
Oh yeah, Rancho
Personal-
Obi-Wan.
Oh, okay.
Rancho Obi-Wan. Yeah,
Okay.
largest
That
personal.
place is on my bucket list.
That's on my bucket
list.
Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can visit it? He allows
You can't-
to
You can't
visit?
you can't visit Skywalker Ranch, but you can visit Rancho Obi-Wan. Yeah, you can
Oh,
buy.
okay.
There's also virtual ones you can like if you couldn't go in person, you can do a virtual tour, but I'd rather go in person. You're like no touching, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take this.
I just
you know?
I just want to play with it.
Yeah, run. Yeah, we got to pull a fanboys for Rancho Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Yeah. Somehow, fanboys returned.
And then I
Yeah.
also have the. Hold on. I think I have it here.
While she's digging that up, I've got two. My wife bought me two. They're like coffee table books. One of them is just Star Wars, and basically you can flip through it, and it's like pictures of all the costumes from like every angle possible. If you were doing a cosplay and you wanted to look exactly spot on to the movies, this would be the book to have. Heavy as crap. Cost like $125 brand new, and then another one that was strictly Darth Vader. So,
A Darth Vader coffee book. I like that.
hey,
Oh. David's like, I've got the first edition, signed by the author, hardcover.
Looks like a board game.
Star Wars 30. Wait,
Oh no!
I hate trying to show shit on camera. I can't.
It's like show and tell. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Debbie.
What do you have for the class, Debbie?
Yeah.
Is it?
What
It's
was
not a
that?
board game, is it? It looks like a board game.
No,
No,
it's a book.
Oh, it looks like a board
Oh.
game.
I was gonna say it.
There you go,
Dave's
Debbie.
got the same thing.
Oh, there
See,
you
it's
go.
got like
Oh.
little pictures.
Wow, they're nice.
It's got all kinds of cool stuff in it. It has like
It's got things you can pull out. And
Oh.
it's got like a copy of the there's one. So like you can pull out some of some of the original stickers that came out in 1977 that they were giving out at the premiere of the movie.
Hmm.
it's got all kinds of like different posters and stuff.
Oh.
Oh,
Color-
okay. So like
Coloring
culture
sheets.
or-
Mine came with 2 CDs,
CDs.
audio CDs.
I also
So I
have
don't know where they-
I've got a playbill for the London Symphony Orchestra in space featuring the music of Star Wars.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of nifty little pull-out things that you can
Oh.
just.
Here's a piece of the sheet music from Star Wars from
Oh wow.
the theme. So
I don't know. David and Debbie are starting to make the rest of us look bad with all these books. You know, and
To
everything.
be fair, other Andrew, they do have a head start on us.
That's true. That's true. Very
yeah,
true.
We are
pretty-
old.
we're
Yes.
pretty old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, I'm the senior of the group, so
Yeah, I mean, Debbie's the one. She's the one that always says Star Trek came first. You know, so
yes, and I love Star Trek. Thank you very much.
But anyway. Oh Lord. All right, Andrew.
well,
did
we
have
did.
any fan questions.
We didn't have any fan questions, but we did have some fan favorites for Star Wars books. We had 2 responses. Kat in the Facebook group said that Omen was a really good read. I
Mhm.
personally have not read that yet, but
Which one's that one?
I'll add it to the list. Our second one comes from Loki Jarson over on Twitter. He shared a tier maker list of his books, how he ranks them, which I thought I would just share real quick so that I don't have to read all of them. It may not, I don't know how easy it'll be to see them,
Oh
but
my.
he's
Okay.
got them ranked from best to not read yet.
Okay, see, that was the one I was talking about. The second one on the top with Mara J. That's the one I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
See, yeah.
It's choices.
Choices.
Yeah.
Oh, he's even got I Jedi up there. Love that book. I mentioned it earlier.
See, okay, so I Jedi. The issue I had with that one was that it was written in the first person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big first person read. Oh, look, there's Allegiance. It's right there on the great section.
Mm-hmm.
Shadows of the Empire. We talked about that one a little bit.
I'm in agreement so far. Pretty good list.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I have a hard
Also-
time seeing, even with my
Yeah.
bicycle.
He put
I figured it would be kind of hard to see, but
he put courtship low, Deefer.
I see that. I see that he's out of his mind. But
An-
We can't all
another
be
good
perfect.
book is oh shoot
Yeah, the Revenant book is not that great. Oh, this is not ready yet. Okay, it's all right. It's all right.
Lords of the Sith. Is that what it's called?
Is it with Vader and
familiar.
Sidious on the cover? They're like using like their little force lightning. Is it that one?
Don't remember. I have it back here. But it takes place right shortly after Revenge of the Sith and his
It's not a bad book. It's just don't go into it expecting a whole lot of Vader and Palpatine. They're really
It's-
only in
it's,
like a third of the book.
Is it the? Is it? I think I see it. Where did
Pretty
I see it?
misleading for a title.
It
Is
is
it-
very misleading. It focuses mostly on other characters.
Oh,
Or is
man.
it? Or are you talking about the one that was under? It's right there under the good section where it's a Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader. That one was right. Right before the episode 1 novel.
Oh yeah.
I do
That's
have Rule of 2 in hardback.
Nice.
Darth Bane.
Nice? That's the middle one, right? I think it's the second one.
Yeah, I think the first one was Path of Destruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that he
very cool.
shared that. So instead of me
And
reading
another
everything,
one I don't think anybody's mentioned. Of course, it's based on the game, which, as y'all know, I don't play games because I suck.
What?
But the first, The Force Unleashed.
Oh,
I haven't
I
read
don't
that
think
one. I played it.
It's
I haven't
a
read it.
good book. The second one, not so much.
if you've played the game, you've read the book. I mean, it's pretty much
Beat for beat.
It really is pretty much beat for beat, but it's still good because that game was amazing. So
And so now, whenever I read it in Sam Witwer's voice.
of course,
Of course,
you
yeah.
have to.
That's
You have to.
required, actually.
It's like
That's how you're supposed to read it.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Darth Maul's in this too. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Debbie,
you
how
one
long
for
now
one.
have I been trying to get you to listen to Maul Shadowhunter on audiobook? That book is narrated by Sam Witwer.
And Debbie hasn't listened to
I
it.
told you this. Yes.
He's been saying it for years.
If you have Audible or somewhere you can get audiobooks, get Maul Shadowhunter because it is literally narrated by Sam Witwer.
You see, it's so hard for me to do an Audible because, like, my drive to work is like 5 minutes.
Okay.
But
So,
that,
like,
that,
you
that-
know-
that's
And
5
Audible is
minutes of
just
Sam
changing a
Witwer you can
football
get
play.
every single
I mean,
day.
Yeah, you could be living
Start
with
your
Sam.
day with Sam Witwer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Debbie, just put in an earbud in one of your ears and just be
Yeah, and listen to it at work.
while you're
Yeah, you
firing.
guys-
Lunch break or something.
I was going to say you've got Fridays where you don't see patients, right? You do your
Mondays and Fridays,
There
yeah.
you go. You
when
got
you're
Sam on
filing
Monday.
or checking inventory.
That's
you
2
know.
days out of a 5-day work week.
I was going to say that's Mondays and Fridays. You could be listening to
You could
Sam.
have the entire book finished in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's a long
Can you
gap.
listen to it on your computer? Is there a way to listen to it on your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have
log in on
Spotify,
Probably.
Spotify also has audiobooks too.
yeah.
I don't have Spotify. Does that cost
Free.
money?
Well, there's a free
There's a-
version.
If you want it
Yeah.
without ads, yeah.
The face she makes.
Debbie just said a naughty word.
She said a bad language word.
Yeah, we're rated R now.
No,
Not
that's
yet.
only
You guys
one.
know I talk like a sailor.
Not
Come
yet.
on.
We get 2 more uses.
We're still in the PG-13 range. We're good. It's all
I
good.
dropped my one F bomb there.
We're 80s PG right now. Actually,
All right. Debbie, shameless plugs. What do we got tonight?
Let's see.
It's
No Star
Thursday.
Trek tomorrow. No Star Trek.
no Sith and I.
No Sith and I. Saturday we have the Geek Gauntlet. Monday we are back for Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. So good. Tuesday there's the Sith Dominion, but I probably won't be on it because I believe this week Daredevil is 2 episodes. Unless they're short episodes, but
I don't
they've
see that
pretty
happening.
much been running.
No.
Yeah, they're pretty much been running about
Better
40,
not be.
45 minutes. So I won't be on Sith Dominion, but they're doing Andor season 1 before it comes out. So
Yes.
If both episodes are short, we're all turning into Fisk, so they better be long.
by unboxing. Let's see, that's Monday. Tuesday. Wednesday, War of the Stars will be dropping an episode. And then we'll be back with something Thursday.
All right. Cam, do you have any shameless plugs this evening?
Yes. This coming Sunday is going to be another episode of Cam and Focus Weekly at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're going to be talking about The Babadook, which is
That's one of your
my
favorites.
all. My all-time favorite horror film. Yes, exactly. This past Sunday we talked about. Yeah,
I'm so
we
sorry.
talked.
I'm really
We talked
am.
about the Emu War. That
Oh,
was
God.
that was a movie.
I
think
found it funny that you guys didn't know that was like a thing. 'Cause I remember hearing about that when I was in high school. I even see it as like a meme that goes around like a "Did you know" kind of thing. Like
Yeah. Well,
how do you fight against flightless birds and still lose?
yeah. Well.
It's like
Just be
if
glad
they
you
had
didn't
the-
watch the movie because the movie is a loose adaptation.
Literally,
at
the only thing that's
best.
accurate about the movie is the title.
yeah.
Oh,
But back then, when they shot the guns, it was a one shot. You had to go reload, and
No, that was 1930 something. So
no, yeah, they had.
Oh,
you had automatic
I-
rifles, but you didn't have M16s and RPGs and things like that, like they had in.
Well, you literally have a guy in the movie chasing an emu, and he's shooting up. He's not shooting at the emu; he's shooting up, and then he pulls out a knife. It's like, dude, buddy.
I never get close to my comrades. Well, you were just talking to him a little bit ago. Yeah, well, he and I got talking and hit it off. We can't force these things.
Cam, that acting is too good. Actually, You need
let's
to tone
just-
it down a little
Let's
bit.
just say this: it was a healthy dose of necrophilia, bestiality, and incest. So
Oh, I'm so glad that was for free on Tubi, and I didn't have to pay to watch that because I'm.
Yeah. I mean, as much entertainment value as that movie had, if I had paid money for it, I still would have felt like I got robbed.
Yeah.
But that was this past Sunday. If you didn't catch the stream, it's over on the Cam and Focus channel. Lots of laughs. This Sunday is going to be a bit more serious. We're talking about The Babadook, my favorite horror film. So yeah, this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard.
okay, top shelf, Andrew. Do you have any shameless plugs? Things you're doing in the near future?
No, not really. I haven't done any like content or anything since GNN. So no, I don't have anything going on. It's just I was in the group earlier today and I saw like favorite Star Wars books and I was like, I have to be involved. So
There
no,
you go.
I don't.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, you're always welcome to come on no matter what
Yeah.
we talk about if you want.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Just say something, we'll send a link.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Bottom shelf, Andrew.
All my shameless plugs have been said at this point, so
There you go.
there you go. That's-
Andrew,
What
Yeah.
am I even doing here?
exactly. I'm just here. I'm just here to fill space,
as was mentioned earlier, Andrew and I will be at Fan Expo Dallas this year, the end of May, 1st of June, last 2 days of May, 1st day of June. We will be there in Dallas. If you're in the area and you want to come check out an amazing convention, they are constantly adding new guests.
Don't
just-
overwhelm our line for photographs and autographs. We'll get to all of you.
We'll get to
We'll
all
get
of you.
all to
I've
the
got-
ones of you. All right. Just
I've got stuff I'm giving away. We found out this week that Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, Leah Thompson, and Tom Wilson will all be there. So we'll have a Back to the Future regathering. It's going to be amazing. So
You should have Christopher Lloyd sign a picture of his character from Food Fight.
I was actually going to go with Star Trek 3 or possibly Clue because
Ooh, yeah.
maybe Taxi. Find a. Here's the anthology of Taxi, just because. When I saw Anthony Daniels was in town several years ago, and I went. I didn't get to see him, but I was going to get him to sign a copy of Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, and the only reason I did that because he did the voice of Legolas in that movie. So I was like, oh hey, that would be something that. Everybody says, "Oh, well, he's a Star Wars guy," and yeah, he was in Star Wars, but he was in other things too, So,
they're taking the Hobbit's Isengard.
if I can say, if I could go up to somebody to an actor who is like Star Wars is all he's known and done, and come up and say, "Hey, look, I knew you a long time ago too because of this," and he can say, "Oh, he will remember me forever." He'll be like, "Oh, you're that guy that brought me my other stuff. You think of me more than just Star Wars." So
Sure.
You never know. He could.
Wow, Debbie, what a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Jeez.
Very much.
Anyway, all right. Well, that is going to be it for us tonight. You guys have a great, great rest of your night, a great, great weekend. We will see all of you next week right here on the Cantina Happy Hour. Y'all all have a great weekend, and may the force be with you all.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Pocket sand. Yeah.